I told them backstage, these might be 3 of the best dressed fighters we have on our roster. So I just want to take a moment to acknowledge that. Dapper Scrappers all around.
I mean, y'all know how we do, right?
All right, so like I told you guys, we have some questions from Twitter, and then we will get questions from media. So I'm going to start off with a group question. This one is from Telvin on Twitter. And I think it's interesting. Because you're all champions, you've obviously all been at the pinnacle of the sport. How did you celebrate your championship wins?
I couldn't really celebrate because I was hurt for a while. You know, I always plan this. When I'm done, I'm gonna go take a trip somewhere exotic for like a whole week. Just eat, get fat, drink, do whatever. Nah, I was laid up in the hospital the next week. So I didn't really get a chance to celebrate. But after this one, though, I'm gonna celebrate in style. I might take the private jet to Nigeria.
Oh, that's what's up. That's champ shit.
I'm trying to get like y'all.
What about you, Max?
Any of you guys watch Creed? Remember remember the scene when he said that he just won, he knocked out someone, I forget who it was, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna take the city, let's go. And then the next scene is him sitting on the couch, falling asleep, eating ice cream. That's pretty much what I did in Toronto. We were like, yeah, let's go crazy. And then we actually went go eat, we went to the hotel room, and I got ice cream wasted, so that's about it.
So, right after the fight, I drink a beer, and I sleep, and the next day I go for my friend's house, or I do a huge barbecue at home, and then Lambert, the owner of the gym, he always make like a huge dinner for all of us in the Shima restaurant, and we all celebrate. I go to Brazil, see my family, do a bunch of things, like have some fun right after, for sure.
Those were 3 like very grounded answers, not like any crazy outlandish parties at a nightclub or I bought a Maserati as soon as I walked out of the arena. You guys are all good. All right. Let's move on to some more fan questions. Max, I'm going to start with you. Lemonhead wants to know, what has your toughest opponent been to date?
My toughest opponent to date was probably, I would say, was Andre Fili. And he's probably the hardest puncher I faced too. So I think Andre Touchy-Fili, that guy can crack. I know he's a Samoan too, so that's probably why he hits so hard.
Dang, that's unexpected because, I mean, obviously you've been in these big title fights, you finished Andre, but really interesting. Do you guys have somebody that comes to mind in terms of who your toughest challenge inside the octagon was?
For me, I would have to say maybe Leon Edwards. Just because it was harder for me to break his will. And he stayed in there. It's just something about fighters. When you're fighting, you can feel the other guy. You know when stuff are landing, they're affecting him. But for him, he was in there. He hung in there the longest time. So I think that was probably, I would say, my hardest to date.
Yeah, I say Valentina. I think it was a tough one. It was 25 minutes, like pretty tough one. But I was able to get the victory.
Yeah. All right, one more for the whole group. This one is from Fame Slayer. Being world champions and some of the baddest people on the planet, do you guys have any phobias?
Yeah, I don't like snakes. I'm just gonna be honest. It's just something about them. There's no bone in their body, but the way it's a snake. A snake is a snake. But I'm gonna kill snakes, that's what we do. We kill snakes. It's just something about snakes. I don't care if they're non-venomous or whatever it is. It's a snake. I don't care if it's small, if it's big. If you see a snake, everybody's gonna do this. So I would have to say snakes.
I guess if we're talking about bugs, it's a flying cockroach. You guys ever see those bad boys? Yeah, keep them away from me.
It doesn't have to be a bug.
No. I really can't think. I probably have a lot. If we sat down, if we had all day, I'll go down to it. I got a bunch of phobias, I think. So, but right now, since he talked about snake, flying cockroach, don't ever bring one. You're gonna get spinning back kick. You bring one cockroach around me.
I say I have 2 things. Fly, one of them. I'm like terrified to fly.
Really?
Yeah.
And you have to fly a lot as
Yeah,
a
I
UFC
do.
champion.
Yeah, I always have to sleep literally the whole time fly. My doctor giving me like a medicine that I be able to really not have any anxiety. But I thought one time I'm gonna have a heart attack, and that was the huge thing. I have to get a doctor. I have to go. I have to fix this, because I'm gonna fly a lot. And the second one, needles. Needle.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I have this thing, almost a faint, take my blood work. And so, yeah, these two things really I hate the most.
So USADA has a hard time then coming to your house taking that blood.
Oh yeah, for sure. We hanging out a lot and until finally you can do now. But
That's amazing.
and they become my friend now.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? 6 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
we hang out until I can pee, I can do something.
Yeah, you feed them breakfast. I know they're always
Yeah.
petting my dog when they come to visit our house. I totally get it. All right, Amanda, back to you. They want to know, Mr. Fight Pro wants to know, did you feel more pressure when you first challenged for the belt, or do you feel like there's more pressure defending the belt?
Neither. I'm very comfortable, I believe in myself. I know what I'm capable of, In this point, you're supposed to be challenged, All the girls want to take that belt from you. You have to be ready. And for me, doesn't matter. I'm going to be ready for everything.
I want to piggyback off something that we asked Jermaine, actually. We asked her, obviously she was on the losing side of your first fight, what she was doing differently. And she said, well, 6 years is a long time. Do you even look at that first fight with Jermaine at all?
I do. Actually, I see she evolved a lot, of course, especially in her wrestling defense is improved a lot. But actually, her strike changed a lot as well. She used to move more. Now she's kind of more stiff, and that is gonna help me a lot to put in my game plan. And yeah, I look forward for my first fight with her. I feel like if she do the same mistake, I will capitalize and finish the fight.
We can't wait for this rematch. Kamaru, JBren11 wants to know, how do you keep your nerves down in the build-up, especially with a fight that has so much animosity as this one against Colby?
I think Amanda just kind of touched on it a little bit. I think it comes down to believing in yourself. You just kind of, what the work that you put in, everything that you've given, everything that you sacrificed. And so, of course, there's always going to be those nerves because it's like, oh man, did I do enough? Am I ready? You're always going to feel that, but it's, you have to be able to bring your mind back to, shit, I put in too much time. I got beat up by all these training partners, man. No, I'm ready. You have to be able to just hone all of those and use it once you get in there. I've surprised myself sometimes with some of the things I'm able to do in there, because we all know, 3 weeks, 4 weeks before the fight, leading up to the fight, we're getting beat. You're just tired. Your body's exhausted from all the long training camp. You're getting beat up by training partners who normally can't even land a punch on you. They're taking you down, beating you on you. But it's just a matter of, just believing in yourself once you get in there and controlling all of those nerves. I think that's truly what makes champions champions.
Absolutely. Max, you told me that you wanted some fun questions. So Arturo Jr. 91 wants to know if Spam is an essential part of your diet.
Spam musabis. I wish. You see, everybody keep talking about, look how big. I got problems stop eating the cupcakes, so I got to give up Spam or cupcakes, and I got a sweet tooth, so cupcakes.
Okay, fair enough. I'm going to go with a more serious question now. From Fight Night Chat wants to know, how have you dealt with your losses so well and bounced back so successfully?
It is what it is. It is what it is, for real. It's sometimes that's just how life goes. It's only a loss if you don't learn. And we learned a lot. We learned a lot in that fight early in April, and then you guys got to see me grow in July when I fought Frankie. So it's just stepping stones. Everybody they get so caught up in winning and losing, this and that. I just go out there to perform. If I show up there that was the best max my night, and you know, 3 guys didn't score my way. 3 guys didn't score my way, so we went back to the drawing board. We came back stronger than ever, and we be back stronger than ever on Saturday night.
This one's for all of you guys. We actually asked the other panel this question, but I thought the answers were so fun. I would love to hear your responses. Have you guys, this is from Infame Slayer, have you guys ever fanboyed or fangirled over another fighter or athlete?
Yes. This was before I got into MMA. It was the first time, and ultimately the guy that ended up pushing me towards MMA is the first time I met Sugar Rashad Evans. I was at the Olympic Training Center, and I got called up to Denver to just come train with my friend King Mo. And so I get up there, and I'm in the locker room. And at this time, I'm living at the Olympic Training Center. I'm just a wrestler. And I'm in the locker room. I'm changing. All right, King Mo, then we're going to train. So my back was turned to the door, and 2 guys walk in. King Mo walks in, and then follows him. Behind him was Sugar Rashad Evans. And this was after Rashad just beat Rampage in that big fight. So he walk in, I turn around real quick. I'm like, oh, shit. That's Sugar Rashad Evans. Inside my head, I'm like, but I ain't gonna say nothing though. I'm gonna be cool, you know, I'm gonna play it cool. And we went out and we trained, and after that, I couldn't believe how amazingly cool and down to earth he was.
I love that. Max?
Yeah, it was actually Aldo. One of my friends was making his UFC debut on an Aldo card. I forget who Aldo was fighting though. And then I was walking past the media room, and then that's the first time I saw Aldo in person and live. I was like, I walked past, I stopped. I was like, oh my God, it's Aldo. I need to go shake this guy's hand or something or whatever. And I walked back inside, and he's doing media. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that to this guy. He's over it. So you know, we're the same weight class. I really was a UFC fighter. I was like, yeah, I can't be going too fangirly over this guy. So I always walk past, and then, yeah, it is what it is.
Did you reflect on that when you faced Aldo those 2 times?
Yeah, a little bit. You know, I had that moment with Leonard Garcia. That Leonard Garcia fight was huge for me, because I remember taking that fight with Leonard. I remember looking at the octagon. We were standing in the octagon. I was looking across the cage. I was like, and I turned to one of my cornermen. I forget who I said. I was like, holy shit, I'm fighting Leonard Garcia. Like, it finally hit me. Like, it didn't hit me until I was actually fighting him. You know, I watched these guys in WEC, you know, for a long time, since I was in high school. And I was here 20 years old fighting him. So I was like, man, this is crazy. What a time to be alive. And then, and then with the Aldo thing, you know, it's like a lot of people know I based my game off of Aldo. Like, Aldo's one of those guys that, to me, was in a wrestling dominant sport. He was a striker doing it. And I was like, oh my gosh, strikers can be champions, so I can do this. So, what's up?
Amanda, what about you?
Growing up, I play soccer a lot. I'm a huge soccer fan. And I'm a huge fan of Ronaldinho Gaúcho, Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, all those guys. I'm a huge soccer fan. And I want to be a soccer player. But things changed. I'm here now. But
things worked out.
Yeah, things
I feel like
worked
they're just fine for you.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's see. Did you guys do the Spotify thing? People were interested in your... Did you guys do that?
Spotify. Oh, yeah.
The
I'm in the
results?
process of doing that now. I'm still
Right.
throwing music out there. I have a crazy taste in music. It might be rock and roll. It might be The Red by Chevelle one day. It might be LMA, Boot Up. It might be something crazy one day. Of course, everybody knows I love my Afrobeat, you know, so.
Did you guys do that?
No, I'm an Apple Music kind of guy, so let me know.
I'm with you.
I listen a lot Brazilian music, you know, samba, you know, axé, pagode, like a bunch of things, sertanejo, and I have some fun. Listen, sure.
All 3 of you always seem to have fun. I feel like I've never been around you where you're not having a good time at whatever point in fight week or camp or outside of camp it's ever been. You're 3 of like the most chill athletes to be around.
We litty.
Yeah.
All 3 of us.
Let's see. What else do we have? What kind of meal? What's your go-to meal after a big win?
I'm not really a bad eater. You know, I don't really like chocolate or candy or none of those. I don't have a sweet tooth, but
Show off.
I would just, I mean, I wish I was,
Shame on
because
you.
I see people eating chocolate. I'm like, damn, that looks so good. Like, all these
My
cakes
problem
and
with-
pies. Everybody talks about Thanksgiving like, oh, I'm going to get a pumpkin pie or a pecan pie. And I'm just like, man, I wish I was into that stuff. But for me, it's just, I love Thai food. So chicken fried rice or combination fried rice. I'm into that.
We got some Thai spots
Especially
here
now.
in Vegas that are amazing.
Don't remind me.
After your fight.
I love baked goods, pastries, donuts, cupcakes, whatever. Somebody gave
Me too.
Actually, one of my fans just gave me a basket. It's unembedded and had 2 cupcakes in it. I was like, really? Like right now? But thanks for looking out. But I love any baked goods. You want a key to my heart? Go bake me something real good.
The sweet stuff is, I miss the most in my diet, you know? And like chocolate, like ice cream, all those things, like, I can't wait after the fight. I can like really sit down in front of the TV and then just like stay there.
They're all ready for weigh-ins in 48 hours is the moral of this story right now. Okay, you wanted some weird questions, so here we go. This is a space aliens question I asked the last panel. If space aliens announced they were going to destroy the world in 24 hours and there was no way to avoid it, and you had unlimited resources, what would you spend the time doing?
It depends. Are they like destroy? They got like laser cannons, like all stuff that we can't defend against, or they just got regular shit to fight us like we got?
I think
they do.
I think they have lasers.
Okay, if they got all that stuff that we can't defend against, I mean, we're fucked. They just don't kill us. But if they don't, I'm gonna assemble an army. Francis Ngannou will be in the front of the army. So come on, aliens.
Yeah. I would get all my family together, get Nina and everybody, my dogs, all the animals together. Let's die together, you know. Let's hug each other and let's go together.
Very respectable answer there.
I mean, that's all you really can do. Get your family, have one last supper. They said they're going to destroy the earth, right? They're not going to take us, they're just going to destroy it. So 24 hours, let's just like binge food. Let's go hit up Cheesecake Factory or something. And let's just make them cook a bunch of freaking cheesecakes. I want them.
Okay, that's fair. I don't know if anyone will be working those last 24 hours.
They usually got some just on display all the time. So maybe we fight over those.
You know, it's somebody gonna be there working that overtime, getting that overtime pay. Somebody's there. Yeah.
All right. Let's go to something a little bit more respectable here in my questions. The username is he should finish. Does your motivation ever dip? Obviously, you guys are constantly training so hard. There's always a new challenge and a bigger fight in front of you. But do you ever just have days where you're like, oh, how do I keep going?
Yeah, I think it's very, very hard, which is why like time never stops for anybody. You know, it keeps going. So it's very hard to just be, you can't be 21 forever. You know, like Max's man, he was 21 when he seen Aldo, but I'm sure Max was hungry as shit. Like, he was like, I'm making maybe 8 and 8 or something at that point. Like, I'm trying to make millions. I'm trying to take care of my family, so motivation changes. But now when you start making the millions, motivation changes. So it's going to be a wave, but it's, you know, part of being a champion is finding a new way to get that motivation back, to stay a champion.
Yeah, I feel like the hardest part is like when you 3 weeks away and then you get injured. And then you're looking at me like, how am I gonna do this? I have to go to the gym, I have to train, I have to I have to walk in the gym. What am I gonna do now? And then you can question a little bit like, damn, like, if I'll be able to make it, I don't know. But, you know, my wife is next to me every day, you know. You have to have somebody like that push you sometimes when you really like not that. But when I walk out to my bedroom, I see my 2 belts, actually couple belts in my house right now. And that is the biggest thing motivating me. I want to see those things forever in front of me every day that I wake up. And I walk the next day and go to the gym, even sick. When I go to the gym, the coach put something together, we can at least break a sweat, you know, and I go back home happy.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's people keep forgetting we're humans too. You know, we got mental stuff, we got personal stuff going on, injuries happen, and you just gotta get remotivated. You know, like George St. Pierre once said, it's easy to win the belt, but it's hard. It's harder to keep defending it, and people don't understand why it's hard to defend the belt. It's hard because us champs, we just re-earning what we have already. Like we don't even get new belts anymore. We get little octagon things now. We should get rings though. UFC, get me a ring. I want rings. I want to be walking around with rings like Jordan or something like this. Tom Brady too, you know. So at the end of the day, that's just it. You know, you just gotta keep on digging deep in yourself and finding questions. Like me and my team, what we love doing, we love figuring out questions or problems. Like people say, like this guy gonna be too much in for Max here, this and that. Be like, okay, I'm gonna jump right in the deep end with this guy and let you guys know, like, is he too much or am I too much? So at the end of the day, it's just figuring out what you want and just keep striving.
All right, one more question before we turn it over to media. Do you guys have an MMA greatest of all time in your mind, excluding yourselves? Is there somebody either that you've just always loved to watch or you think, oh, that was the greatest fighter of all time? It's a hard question, I guess.
Greatest of all time. Honestly, I might be a little biased because I kind of know the guy. I would have to say maybe John Jones. Just I know he's got a lot of. I know he's outside the octagon. Things kind of, tarnished a little bit of that reputation. But I mean, to be able to go on the run that he went on, slaying champ after champ after champ after champ. I mean, the way he was doing it, I would have to say he's probably the best we've ever seen. No offense, guys.
I feel definitely John is pretty fun to watch, and George St. Pierre as well. I feel like watching him fight, like the time he has, like the time of the takedowns, everything's like pretty amazing. And I look up to that kind of style a lot, I wanna be able to time everything in the fight, and I've been doing that very well, whatever, when I want to take the person down, I'm gonna do it. When I want to strike, I want to strike. Feel like George St. Pierre, I look for a lot of that style.
Love it.
Yeah, I think mine's a GSP. Yeah, just amazing, especially what he did and what he was doing, and then it kind of showed how he's human too. Like that Matt Serra fight kind of got away, and then he came back, and he just kept becoming stronger and stronger. So I think GSP for sure is up there for me.
Well, I think a lot of people would name you guys as well as some of the greatest ever. So with that, let's turn it over to our media. John Morgan, I see you.
Let's start with Amanda, please. Amanda, your last two performances especially have been spectacular, and everybody says you're the women's GOAT, no question. Do you feel like a responsibility to go out there and do things like that every time? I mean, is it enough to go get a decision and hang on to your belt, or do you feel like as you're preparing, you have to do something spectacular every time?
No, I just want to be ready, I have to defend those belts, I don't want to have those belts at home, and I want to keep making history, keep have the belt, defend as long as possible, and be ready. I think that be ready, mentally strong, to get through everything.
And I know you've made it clear you want to keep defending both belts. Can't look past this fight, of course, but 2020, next year, what's it going to look like? Ideally, what would you do next year?
I'm going to defend my belt right after this one. Next year, I want to defend my 145 belt. Keep making history. Keep making something nobody did it before.
And would you go back and forth each time, you think, or would it depend on who's ready?
Yeah, I'm going to do it, It depends on my body, If my body responds very well, and I will keep doing till forever.
Thanks, man.
Thank
Max, last time you were scheduled to compete here in Vegas, things didn't go so well. I'm just curious kind of what the vibe has been like as you've been in town. I mean, have there been any weird memories from that week or weird things where you're kind of feeling eerie memories of that week?
Nothing at all, man. This is the 9th island. I got a bunch of Hawaiians here. I got a bunch of Hawaiians flying in. A bunch of Hawaiians live here, so I just can't wait for Saturday, man. I can't wait for this weigh-ins, get this weigh-ins over, and then I get to see Alex Acosta Octagon for me.
Can you talk about where you're at? I mean, you fought everybody at 145. I mean, you fought the greats, man. This guy, it's kind of his time in the spotlight for the first time. Where does he rank? What do you see in him? I mean, is he a worthy challenger?
Oh yeah, for sure. He's the #1 contender. He went to Rio, fought the King of Rio, got a decision in Rio. So toodles to him. But This is MMA, man. You guys all know. You guys all work in the MMA business. There's a new face every 2 weeks. So whatever face, whatever cupcake, whatever mysterious flavor pops up, let me know. I want the first crack at it.
Thanks, Max. Kamaru, I gotta ask, man. I mean, you are incredibly relaxed and a bit jovial right now. I mean, we think about the build-up to this fight. It has been intense. It's been crazy, and you seem kind of chill right now. So I gotta ask, what the mood is like for you a couple days out from this fight finally being here? And I mean, is this fight personal to you?
You know, I mean, I'm relaxed because this is it's a fight. At the end of the day, I'm gonna be locked in there, and I'm gonna do what I've been training to do. So. I don't think anything much more than that. You know, just because this clown is running his mouth as much as he wants, if he's worried about me, I'm not worried about him. He's the one who's talked all the shit in the world, so now he has to go prove that. The pressure's on him. I'm champ, not him. He has to come out there and prove it, but man, I'm relaxed. This is the 4th time this fight should have happened. Actually, 5th time this fight's been offered to him. I've accepted every single one. He hasn't. So there's no other person for him to fight except me. So that's why he's pretending to you guys like, oh, he wanted this fight, this and that. Because there's nobody else. You want to be the champ. You got to come beat the champ. So
Trash talk is trash talk. I mean, that happens leading into fights, but he's laid some serious claims on you out there about like failing drug tests and not being able to pass USADA. Obviously, we haven't seen any of that, but I mean, what do you think when he says things like that?
Okay, if I failed a drug test, wouldn't you guys know? I mean, John Jones, some of these guys are the biggest stars. If they fail the drug test, everybody knows. Wouldn't it be better for the company to not leak those guys failing drug tests rather than me? This is just stupid. This is him trying to make excuses why he's going to get his ass kicked on Saturday night. And then he's already now came out and said that, hey, oh, this is just an act. You know, I don't give a shit. Yeah, he came out, you know, he said it was just an act, you know, they were going to cut me, so I put on this act. You fucking nerd. It doesn't matter. After you get your ass kicked, you can do whatever you want to do. I don't care.
It's all going to go down on Saturday night, but tomorrow there'll be a face-off. Friday there'll be a face-off. I know we're all really looking forward to it. Let me ask you, what are you expecting out of those moments when you two guys are standing there face to face? How are you expecting those to go, and what are you hoping to take out of those moments?
Nothing. I'm like you mentioned, I'm just very, very relaxed right now. You know, I'm just ready. I'm ready to go. I can't wait to step off the scale on Friday. That's what I'm looking forward to. You know, for him, the face-off, I don't really care. You know, we all know what a face-off is. When you finally go face to face, it's just, you know, your heart rate might go up a little bit, but you know, that's it. And then, you know, next thing you know, it's Saturday. The ref is asking you, are you ready? Hell yeah, let's do it.
Max, question right here. After your last fight at UFC 240, a lot of people are asking you if you would fight Volkanovski on that Melbourne card that was a few months later. And you said the only thing you want to do is you want to do a couple tests to see where your brain was. And you pointed to your son. You said it's not for me, it's for him because I want to be around down the line. How did you take those tests and was everything good?
Yeah, me and my team, we take medical and recovery and everything super serious. So I didn't want to be like, yeah, let's do it, and a couple weeks later go check up for. I just actually go up to just get checked up, to be honest, and then they tell you, oh, something's wrong with your hand, and I can't fight. You know, I look like the biggest douche ever. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I didn't want to do that to him. You know, promise him something that I couldn't keep. So we just was waiting, you know, and then, you know, so be it. We're here at the biggest fight of the year card, and I can't wait.
Similar questions for Kamaru and Amanda. How serious do you take the test immediately right after, like brain scans or whatever, to check where you're at before you even think about your next fight?
Oh, I take it very, very serious. You know, let's be honest. You know, right after the fight and you're successful, you know, of course you want to jump right back in there. You're like, oh, that wasn't that bad. I could do that again. You know, but I actually do take it very serious as far as being testing because I have a 5-year-old daughter. You know, and one of the biggest things for me is I always said, man, when I'm in my 40s, when I'm done competing in this sport, I want to be able to play with my daughter, not just sit on the couch and just watch her run around and say, all right, good job. No, I want to actually be mobile and able to play with her. So, yeah, of course, you got to take those tests very seriously.
Yeah, for me as well. Of course, when we go to the media right after the fight, we already, who is gonna be the next? And the media already ask you, who's the next? Who's the next? But of course, I take my vacation very serious. You know, go home, stay with my family, recovery, see if I have any little injuries that I have to take care to come back training strong. And yeah, waiting for the next step right after.
Max, you actually said that Andre Fili was probably your toughest fight to date so far, but looking at Alex, in what way could Alex be your toughest fight, and in what way could Alex be your easiest fight?
The beautiful thing is we get to find out. We get to find out come Saturday, you know. We see what happens. I don't know, you know. Everybody can be like, oh, maybe you fought this guy, he's like Alex, but he's not, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of guys that be like, oh, Alex fought guys like you, and look what he did to him. But they're not me. Was those guys ex-champions? You know, do those guys have the heart, the mindset that I have? Like, everything always comes into play. So at the end of the day, I just can't wait to see him. You know, he presents a lot of questions, you know, and me and my team sat down, we talked about it, and we think we got the answers. So live on pay-per-view or live at T-Mobile Arena, come see it.
And then for Amanda, you know, you've knocked out Chris Cyborg, you knocked out Holly Holm. Germaine Durandamy, you know, had a very close fight with Holly Holm, and she opted to drop the belt rather than even fight Cyborg. So I'm curious, when you're looking at her as a competitor and as a champion, how do you really feel about her, considering that she would walk away from a belt rather than fight someone?
You only prove if you're a champion if you defend your belt. You know, she proved she gave up her belt. She's not supposed to be in this spot that I am in right now. I feel like she evolved a lot. She's a very tough opponent, but I will have all the answers for Saturday night. I will walk away with my belt. There's no doubt in my mind.
And then for Kamaru, you've basically inherited the bad blood of most of the UFC. You know, whether it's his teammates or other fighters in the division, the entire country of Brazil, people want to punch Colby in the face, and you get the chance to do that. But I'm curious, where does it begin with you? You guys have both been based in South Florida at rival camps. I mean, at some point along the way, you must have come across each other before this fight, knowing that you're going to fight each other one day.
Actually, my second professional fight, he was offered to me, and that was in 2012. I was 1-0. I just started. I'd never done jiu-jitsu ever in my life, nothing. You know, I just came in as a wrestler, and I started striking in our crazy gym. And so they offered him to me, and I said, yeah. I didn't give a shit. I was broke as hell. So I said, yeah, I'll fight him. Give me 1-on-1, I'll fight him. Yeah. And so I knew of him loosely, because the wrestling world is so small of the elite wrestlers. So I knew of him. So I said, yeah, I took the fight. But he turned down the fight, and I know he turned it down because his coach at that time is my coach now, who happened to be my first ever wrestling coach. So he turned it down years later, you know, same old, you know, but man, I don't, what was the question again? Damn, I lost my train of thought. Where did it all start? Yeah, it started, you know, even back then, you know, like if you guys really dissect this thing, it's I don't think it's ever in the UFC we've ever seen anything like this. How the ties that me and him have. It's crazy, you know, to both be 15-1, you know, that common opponent, the guy that beat him, I beat, the guy that beat me, he beat, you know, to where we have mutual friends, judges going all the way back to college, you know, so, you know, it's a crazy story, and I'm glad that on Saturday I finally get a chance to put the nail in the coffin.
Hey guys, thanks for taking the time out. For Amanda, Germaine was up here earlier before you guys came up, and she said that she thinks that you're going to shoot for a takedown on her. Do you think that's going to be your game plan? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I have so many things to do in this fight. I just have to take my time. I think what I'm going to wait for, she make a mistake. I know she's going to make mistakes like it was the first time. And I'm going to capitalize, you know. But the takedown for sure is something that I look for. But I don't know when it's going to happen. I know I'll be able to strike with her. You know, I believe I can knock her out. And I know she's very good, what she have, her strike. But I already see a lot of holes. You know, we know each other very well. this is my second camp for her, you know, and I know I'm gonna finish her.
Thank you. And then for Max, you seemed surprised when you heard that Kamaru say that Colby said he was putting on an act. You seemed very surprised by that. Why? What was your thoughts?
That's heavy, cuz I don't know. If you're gonna put up an act, I think so. You gotta stay with the act. You know what I mean? You cannot just like when you retire, you come out and be like, you know, like WWE guys. You know what I mean? They do their stuff and they keep that act no matter where they're at. You know, and then when they retire, then they talk about like, oh look, it was an act and this and that. So kind of surprised that he kind of just came out of nowhere and said it. That's got me shook.
Kamaru, thoughts on that with Matt?
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. You know, like if you're putting on an act, then you gotta sell that. That's your shit. You gotta sell that. You know, but that just lets me know it's weaknesses already. He's already finding, like, come on, let's dissect this thing. You're already finding a way out. People don't hate me. Once I get beat up on Saturday, don't hate me because I was just putting on an act. You know, because they were gonna cut me. You know, he's doing that. And did you guys realize when I fought Tyron Woodley here in this same exact building, I had my open workout. He showed up at somebody's open workout. If you want to be the champ, you're going to show up at the champ's open workout and try to distract them, right? Why you show up at mine? Because he knew what was going to happen. He knew I was the most dangerous guy in the division, and he knew that I was a fight he didn't want. So he already been showing his card for a long time. So back to that question, whoever asked why I'm so relaxed, I'm relaxed because I know what I'm finna do.
And then just for any one of you guys, like, have any of you felt like you need to put on an act as like a UFC fighter, as UFC champion? Maybe not to the extent that Colby does it, but maybe something that you wouldn't normally say, but you felt like you had to say just to keep up appearances or what have you?
I think that's why you got the Power 3 up here. We don't have to do all that. We just be ourselves, and hey, if you like me, you like me. If you don't like me, hey, more power to you.
Yeah, exactly what he said. You know, I got a team. They actually put me back on the leash because I like being wild. You know what I mean? Like people is like, what? On embedded, like people is like, why are you hiking? The biggest you fight before the Ortega fight. Why are you snowboarding? I'm like,
that was
guys, because they won't let me do other stuff. So this is the safest stuff that they can kind of control me in. So you know, no act at all. You know, people gonna believe you and. But we in fighting. At the end of the day, you gotta fight. You know, go out there, go win fights, and everything will fall in place.
Yeah, me too. You know, my coach, my girlfriend, and my family. My mommy always talk to me like, you don't need to jump in the cage after the fight. It's like, come down. Like, you know, they have me on a leash for sure because, you know, this lifestyle is crazy. You know, fighting like we like all pumping adrenaline, everything. You don't know how to handle sometimes, but. You know, that's why we surround with good people. You'll be able to have your back.
Thanks, guys.
We're good? Okay, guys. Give it up for the champions. They all have more media to do today. I'm sure they've got workouts planned. We've got another full media day tomorrow. You guys, we really appreciate your time. We appreciate you having fun with this. Thank you so much for joining us for the athlete panel.